This is a serious, serious Apple AirTag warning to everyone listening to this, okay? Apple needs to step up and address these Apple AirTags immediately. We should all get rid of these. These are being used to track women, children, everybody that you can possibly think of can be tracked by these Apple AirTags. It's not a joke, it's not funny, and we really seriously need to give this more thought, okay? Since these came out, they can be used to just slip in a child's backpack and slip into a woman's purse. They can be used to traffic children. They can follow you wherever you're going. They can follow a person home. And so later on, somebody can break into your house, rape, mug, and murder you, kill you, and they don't even show up for 12 hours later, okay? This is...
You're not notified.
And you wouldn't even be notified. The police wouldn't even be able to notify anybody. Nobody would know, okay? This is really sick. This is really bad that Apple is doing this, okay? Like I said, teens at a club, going out to a club. Somebody could just slip them this in their purse, let alone their car. Follow them home, see where they live, and then they could be just whatever, molested, whatever, raped. This is not funny. This is not being used for the purposes I'm sure Apple intended it to be, okay? This takes away your privacy. This takes away everything that anybody ever thought they could be used for. And we all should feel completely violated. And we have no recourse from being tracked for at least 12 hours from one of these. I mean, pedophiles, sex offenders, people with protection from abuse orders. I think the list just goes on and on and on. We want our youth to be safe. We want, we want to be able to pull home safely and know that nobody's put a magnet on one of these underneath our car, let alone slipping them anywhere else. And Apple hasn't come up with anything to notify us of if we're being tracked or play a sound for at least 12 hours. Think how you would feel if your child went missing and you couldn't even find them for 12 hours. Anyone that has an iPhone will not be notified. And I am telling you, I have a very good engineer who's going to explain all of the facts and figures on this phone, on this AirTag, including the Android version and the iPhone version. But I am outraged, downright outraged that these are out, and Apple needs to step up and either recall these, take them off the market, and stop selling them. And I'm going to turn this over now to a great engineer who will tell you his thoughts on these ludicrous AirTags.
Well, thank you, Holly. So AirTag's very interesting little product here. A while back, Holly had asked me, because she had concerns of people stalking her and following her and all that stuff, saying, is it possible for somebody to put like a GPS tracker on me? And then she asked me this about, over a year ago. And I said, it is possible, but it's not going to work really well for a couple of reasons. One is that any tracker that's going to collect GPS data, GPS is a line of sight communication. If it goes underneath your car or in your purse, probably not going to pick up a GPS signal really well. Also, if it's going to track you, it needs to send that signal somewhere out there for somebody to capture it over the cellular network or whatever. That takes a lot of power. So I told her, don't worry, because you're not going to be tracked, because whatever they do, it's not going to work really well. Now, then April of last year, Apple came out with these AirTags, and they've solved those two problems. They solved those two problems by simply not making this a GPS device. There's no GPS in here. Also, this doesn't send data to the cellular network. It's a very low power Bluetooth beacon. It just sits, this one lithium battery here will last for about a year. And what happens is if somebody takes this and puts this in your car or drops it in your purse or whatever, it's going to put out a really low level beacon of messages. Is pretty much like blah, blah, blah. And I say blah because it's all encrypted. It doesn't do anything. It's just around the area. The interesting part is if anyone with an iPhone with their Bluetooth walks by, it picks up these beacon messages, all right? Picks them up, it attaches its GPS data to it, and then it relays it to Apple or relays it to the Apple servers, which gets stored. Now, all this stuff is encrypted. The only person who can track, the only information that's available to the person who owns this tag and whose phone is tied to. That really is not the problem. The problem here is that if I want to use this maliciously, it'd be very easily. If I wanted to track somebody, all I would do is buy one of these AirTags. I would attach to my phone and just slip it in their, whatever. Stick it on their car with a magnet, hide it somewhere, and you're all set. Now, Apple has said it's added some features to help thwart that, which I think is nowhere near enough. So what's going to happen is if I do happen to drop this into somebody's purse or pocket or whatever and it's tracking them, after 12 hours, the iPhone will, roughly around 12 hours, the iPhone will give you a pop-up say, hey, somebody's maybe tracking you or there may be a device tracking you, which is kind of cool, but 12 hours is a very long time, extremely long time. A lot can happen in 12 hours, a lot can be done in 12 hours. Now, if you have an Android, that doesn't work for you at all. If you have an Android, there's no notifications, where they have another fallback. So if this is away from the original owner for more than 3 days, it'll start to beep, 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 beep. So as an Android user, they can track you for 3 days if you don't do anything about it before this is known. Now, if I was a malicious user of the AirTags, what I would do is I'd open this up and remove the speaker so you couldn't hear the speaker. So it would work indefinitely for an Android user. If you're using Apple iPhone, 12 hours you get a notification. But again, I think 12 hours is way too long for this. Now, there was some hope. I saw a beta version of iOS 15.2, which came with a scanner. So in other words, an AirTag scanner. So if you thought somebody was tracking you or you're in that position where maybe your domestic abuse is happening and things like that, so you're suspect somebody may be trying to follow you, you can pull out your iPhone 15.2 and scan for any AirTags in the area. Unfortunately, 15.2 just came out recently, and they, for some reason, did not include it in there, and I don't know why. So you can't. So you're stuck with that 12-hour mark. So again, a lot can happen in 12 hours, which from a security standpoint is just not good. Now, let's switch over to Android. Remember I said that Android, you have to wait 3 days. Well, maybe not so much now. So Apple has released a app for Android that will, and let's see, I have it on here, that will that can scan for AirTags. What was missing in 15.2, they have in Android. So in Android, you can open up this app and scan for AirTags. And the problem with this is this is something you have to do. It's not something automatic. You got to be diligent. You got to be able to do this every day, every time you get in the car if you're suspected. And so it's kind of a hassle. But it does work. It finds the AirTag and it'll just play a sound on it. It says, I found this AirTag here that's maybe malicious. I can push on here and it'll play a sound and everything. Let's see if that works now. It says it's connecting, but so it doesn't seem to be working. So there you go. So I know what I think I may have to rescan for it. I'm gonna scan it again before but let it scan, do this thing. So I guess there are some positive things to the AirTag. You can find your keys if they're lost or like that. You can if you do lose items, you can find it, but it can be very easily maliciously used. There's another product out there called Tile, which has been around for a few years, do the same thing, but the Tile is so much more difficult to track somebody because the Tile relies on other Tile users. So in the grand scheme of iPhone users and Android users, only a small, I don't know what the percentage is, but only a small percentage of those users have the Tile app that can relay that information. What makes this so effective in tracking people is, think of all the iPhones that you have. I mean, you can walk down your hallway in your apartment, and any iPhone in the area will pick it up and relay your signal and your location out, or even your own iPhone. So I, as an engineer, find this very interesting. I've been researching this stuff. Very interesting piece of technology. I like it, but it can be very easily misused. Stay tuned. I'm going to be doing some more experiments with this, trying to see how well this tracking is done. I have a few ideas: putting it on a car, sending it in a send a parcel post on UPS ground, see how good I can track it. And I'm also going to be thinking about what you can do proactively to stop yourself being tracked. So, Hallie, you have anything to add now?
Yes, I do. So, as an engineer, typically engineers don't get too hyped up about a lot of things. And, he's done so much work on this. And we did do the Android before, and it did find, the app that lets you find this. And the app for the Android was made by Apple, of all things. So that was unbelievable. Now, on the 15.2 version, there is no really good scanning app for this.
There was supposed to be one, but they did not include it for whatever reason.
Right, they didn't include it. So Apple has really dropped the ball as far as I'm concerned. So if anybody gets hurt or harmed or has malicious intent with one of these, which we know in our today's society, there are so many just people that are deranged, don't have the right intentions. You want to protect your children. You want to know where they are. This is crazy. This is lunacy. People need to write to Apple, drop your iPhone service, whatever you need to do. This is awful. This is really awful. There's so many articles already written on this app, this AirTag. They need to immediately put into scan immediately. It's not bad enough.
Or at least give you the option. The problem here with Apple is you have no option to scan for tags unless for 12 hours. And they have to notify you, and that's the problem I see here. So
right.
if you're a person who's had problems with domestic violence, who has people that are after, people that are tracking you, people that are following you, I mean, with this coming out, you're going to feel unsafe because you have no way of knowing this is being done.
That's right.
For at least 12 hours, and of course they can drop another one in, and also have noticed that if the person with the phone goes over to the AirTag and resets it, the time gets reset, so there's another 12 hours. So really, the summary of this is these AirTags are an interesting piece of technology, but it's so easily misused, and Apple, it doesn't seem to be doing enough to provide you the tools to protect yourself.
Not nearly enough, and you know how it takes a blink of an eye for a child or a teen to go missing. And if they can track you to your house, how easy it would be to just bash in a door and then the whole family's gone. And I'm just such an advocate, I'm a health life coach advocate, and it just worries me to no end that a company this big could not come up with something immediately. And now, on top of it all, we've got to remember to scan ourselves, scan our cars. I mean, this is ridiculous. How inane is this that we're going to be having to scan for these things? I mean, it's just another thing to do in our busy enough daily lives. Please comment on this video. Hit the like button. Please, we're begging you. I mean, this is for our own safety and security. Let's do this, folks. Let's do this.
And a lot of you people are probably thinking, what's the big deal? So what? Maybe somebody can distract you and not. But the concern is for people who are prone to this, people who have domestic violence issues, people who are trying to, let's say, stay hidden from somebody. This makes it very easy to do. This makes it very easy for the police to track people. I mean, without warrants or anything, they can do the same thing malicious people do. So again, stay tuned. Hit subscribe if you're interested in this stuff. I'm going to do some more experiments on how the AirTag works, and how we can better thwart this stuff. Oh, I just wanted another note. I did a scan now for the AirTag and it didn't find it. And the reason why I didn't find it is I'm using my iPhone to record the video now that's tied to this. And one interesting thing I found out for this is those beacons I told you out, it doesn't send out the beacons until it becomes disconnected from the original phone that was connected to, and 15 minutes that's afterwards. That's why we weren't able to find it. So there you go.
So please, folks, don't be stupid. Don't lose your child's life. Don't lose your teen's life. Surveillance cameras are not, be smart. Write to Apple. This is no joke. This is here. And Apple has done absolutely nothing to address this problem.
Or nowhere near is enough. They have some things in place, but I don't think nowhere near. Because I think 12 hours to a person it's done unacceptable. They should at least have a scanner. I mean, I was looking forward to 15.2 to have a scanner for those people who are concerned, but you can't. You have to use an Android for that. You cannot use an iPhone for that.
You can lose your child in a blink of an eye. You can be stalked in a blink of an eye. You can be trafficked in the blink of an eye. You can have your home broken into in the blink of an eye. 12 hours is nothing.
Yes, and yes, there are Bluetooth scanners you can use to detect this on iPhone, but I've tried a few of them. They're kind of iffy. They don't really. You can find them, and you're not really sure it's an AirTag, but you can look at the behavior of how the signals look and just an AirTag. You need an app like this on Android, which will find those AirTags. You need something from Apple, an app that's going to scan and find AirTags that don't belong to you.
Okay, thank you for listening. Hit subscribe, and we will be back with more. Thank you.
Sounds very good. I will stop it.